Howdy folks, ARON WEBBER here with a little update to some of the things that are happening here at the corporation, and I'm excited about them. But the one I'm really excited about has frankly been years in the making. I've harassed these guys forever, and Clayton and his team have finally delivered, so thank you to them, on this concept of membership. Particularly nowadays, people are focused on not giving away their personal information. I'm not going to give you my social security, my birthday, and you can probably steal my identity. Whether you do directly or the company gets hacked or whatever the scenario is, people are sensitive to that. And so in Marketing 101, make it easy, make it simple, make it slippery is the term that's used to allow people to join quite easily. So now you can sign up, name, address, telephone number, real basic stuff, but nothing particular that causes concerns over identity. And then you can get going. You can buy it wholesale, you can do the business, you can do whatever you want to do and build up product credits until such time as, hang on a minute, there's a real business here. I better get them my further details to make sure that I get the commissions that are owed to me. Wonderful transition, makes it elegant, makes it simple, makes it slippery, and allows people to join us. And that's why I love the term membership, because it implies I'm joining the club, I'm in. People love to join, we're a bunch of joiners, but at the same time doesn't imply any workload or extra effort or inconvenience. It's just, I got my Costco membership, I'm in, I can go when I want, no one's going to harass me if I don't show up, etc., etc. And that's the positioning we want. Because then what will happen is they'll come in, they'll associate with great people like yourself, they'll use great products that have a wonderful effect that's unambiguous, either measurable or you can feel it and you know it's making a difference. And then all of a sudden they say, hang on a minute, what else have these guys got? What else have I got access to? Friends and family start asking questions. Next thing you know, before they even know it, they're doing the business, and it's very elegant, very simple, very straightforward. After all, as the advertisement goes, membership has its privileges, and we're happy to have those privileges extended to those of your contact pool that want to join us as a Unicity member. Howdy folks, ARON WEBBER here again with a little bit of a vignette or a summary, if you will, of who we are and what we do. And you're probably thinking, well, I already know that, I'm a member, I'm part of Unicity, I know all that. And yeah, you do. But my observation, the feedback I'm getting as I listen and work with many of you, is that we overcomplicate it many times. We engage in these self-debates, we debate each other, and well, is it this, is it that, and what's the priority, blah, blah, blah. Here would be my recommendation as to who we are and what we're about, and as a consequence of that, how you share who we are and what we're about in a very elegant, very comfortable way, and by all means, please use your own words, they're probably far better than mine. There is a huge debate in the industry, always has been, over is it about the products or is it about the business? Well, the debate should have been settled years ago, and there's no need for it because, quite frankly, it's about both. We sell products and we sell an opportunity. No question we do both. The issue is, how do you present that in an elegant, seamless, graceful way that attracts people to you rather than chases them away? Let me propose to you a method that I found personally very successful, and that the groups I'm working with directly are likewise finding it very successful, which gives me a measure of confidence and peace because it says to me this is personal and personality non-specific. In other words, this can be done in a duplicated, leveraged way, which is what we're after, right? And that is to start with the products. Say what you want, but we have outstanding products. We've had them for decades. They are the major string to our bow. They are the things that make the difference for us. Simply put, they do what we say they're going to do, and many times they do it in a way that's unambiguous, it's measurable, that's just obvious. We don't have to rely on people thinking, oh, I think it's working. I'm alive this morning. Therefore, it must be working for me, those products ARON gave me. No, that's not the problem we have. They work, and they obviously work. So I start there. That's our heritage. That's our history. That's our strength. I start with sharing products that are applicable to the widest possible group of people, that, to excuse the phrase, put bums in chairs because there's an attraction, there's a real need in the marketplace for them, and there's some curiosity. I have a solution for people and the challenges they have. And that is a lot of marketing material behind from the company, a lot of history behind, and are unambiguous in their result. The products I've chosen, that work well for me, and I suggest these to you. And again, if you're doing something different, or if your upline and mentor is coaching you some other way, by all means, please keep doing that. I offer this as an alternative if you want to try something else, as something for you to focus in on in the absence of anything else that's going on. But I focus on cleanse and balance and matcha. Or if you're in some different markets in North America, whatever the equivalent names are in your marketplace. Cleanse because it just works. And I can lecture you on cleanse all day and all night. Bottom line is, if you take cleanse tonight, tomorrow morning, based on the output, you know it's working. I love that. The other thing, which we don't talk about at all with cleanse, is that one of the side effects of cleanse is it makes everything else work better. You are able to absorb better what's going on because you're cleansing the system that's designed to absorb that. And while your mother's a wonderful lady, she was incorrect. You aren't what you eat. You are what you absorb. And so cleanse allows you to absorb what's going on. Your poor diet, your great diet, the other supplements that you're taking. Cleanse just plain works, and works unambiguously. So I start there. And then balance, or its equivalent in other markets. It addresses the fastest growing and the largest health conditions on the planet. Diabetes and blood sugar and cardiovascular disease and metabolic syndrome and the microbiome, etc., etc., etc. Everybody needs this, or if they don't personally, they're certainly related to someone that does. It is a widely applicable and, more importantly, unambiguous in its result. Blood tests, cholesterol, blood sugar, all those measures are widely known, commonly understood. Any guy or gal with the letters after their name with the white coat on can tell you that this product's doing what it should do because they can get the data. And then the third is matcha. All of us in today's frenzied lifestyle and harried state need more energy. Matcha is a natural energy, you know all this, that allows me to get all the benefit of those crazy energy drinks without the negative consequences, the downside, the crash, the jitters, the headaches, and all that sort of stuff. So matcha for me is a cut and paste kind of situation. They're out there buying all those other, I won't mention names, bad for you energy drinks. That demographic, I guess if we were proposed to them, would you like something that has the same upside without the downside for an equivalent cost? Would that be of interest to you? They'd be all over you. Great thing is, I've got some great personal stories and data on exactly using that approach. Also, the data from the company as a whole demonstrates that the target demographic we're after is coming in for that reason and that reason alone. And then discover a whole other universe of wonderful products that support and sustain and build and do those other wonderful things. So I focus on cleanse, balance, and matcha. The cool thing is, combinations of them add up to wonderful pieces and multiples for the compensation plan. So again, we start talking about some of those opportunity type things. That's my presentation. I deliver that to people, and then they're kind of left thinking, hang on a minute, I thought you were a member of one of those things, and I don't mention it. Then they take the products, and guess what? Surprise, surprise, the products actually work. They do what I say they're going to do. Therefore, my credibility goes up. They come back to me and say, after they get over being angry the morning after taking cleanse, and say, this stuff's working, with some degree of surprise. I'm like, well, I told you it would. So I've got the benefit of my credibility goes up. I've delivered value to them, or in Unicity terminology, I've made their life better. And then they start asking me questions, because they know I'm not doing this for a big hug or just for fun. They know this is a business for me. And they start asking those questions that very naturally, very easily segues into the business side, the opportunity, and with a membership type approach. Well, hey, why don't you just become a member? Just give us your basic details. In fact, I've already got your basic details that I need. We can get you signed up as a member. You can get my pricing. There I am delivering value again. And before you know it, they're rolling away. And guess what? When, note the language there, when the product works for them, then their friends and family are going to start asking questions, or their natural enthusiasm is going to take over and they start talking about it, and the process repeats itself. Product first, I use Cleanse, Balance, Matcha, elegantly segueing into membership and business opportunity conversations. None of this nonsense of whiteboards and circles and lines and come here and sign up 10 of your closest friends and then they last for 30 days and you lose them forever. None of that. Here is a real product that fills real needs for real people, that provides a real solution from which in time there is a real underlying sustainable business model. That's how I go about it. It's real, it's authentic, it's sustainable, and therefore it is compelling. Again, I offer that to you as an explanation of who we are and what we're about and the priority to present those to people. We have what people want. And when that process works for you, your posture will shift. Your confidence will shift such that you're able to say, as am I have what you want. You don't say that, but that's the posture you provide the information with. And all of a sudden they're like, hang on a minute, independent of these cool products that work and this opportunity I think is going to be a real good thing for me, I want to hang around that person. That's the kind of person I want to be with. And you're bringing these other assets, other strings to the bow to make us and our association with them that much more attractive. There you go. That's who we are. That's what we're about. And that's how I position and prioritize that presentation to people as we go forward. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Part of the feedback I've been getting on these great products that we have is, well, that sounds great. I'm convinced. You've educated me. How do I get people to want to take it or try it, or how do I get them to sample it without me feeling like I'm pushing it on them, without them feeling like they're being sold in some sort of used car or vacuum cleaner salesman type environment? Let me give you 2 suggestions on 2 products, and then maybe a cherry on the top bonus on a 3rd product later on. First is balance. Anytime you eat in a public setting, take a water bottle, take a blender or not, but take your balance. In fact, I have a whole line of business that does hundreds of thousands of dollars a month that was born out of me drinking my balance before a business lunch I went to and someone asking me, what's that? Anything you can do that stimulates questions. What's that? Why are you taking it? What does it do? Can I have some? Becomes a very graceful conversation. You want to do things that stimulate request and question. So, for balance, take it in front of those business lunches or those family dinners or whatever else. And then answer it very generally. Oh, this is the product I take to help manage my blood sugar, my cholesterol, and lose a few pounds. Tell me there isn't someone that hears that comment and says, well, hang on a minute, tell me more. What's going on here? So using it in public is a great way to go about it. Likewise, Matcha. We have a whole raft of family and friends and school people in the WEBBER clan that use Matcha because me and or my wife drink it as we go out and about. We call it our swamp juice. It looks gross. And so people see you drinking something that's gross, they ask the question. And the answer is, oh, this is my Matcha. This is my natural energy drink where I don't have to crash thereafter, and it gives me an amazing amount of mental clarity at the same time. I'm hitting the hot buttons of all what those other ones don't do. I'm answering their question, and then I always have an extra packet or sachet and say, would you like to try some? And they do. So using the product in the public domain in a very natural, business as usual kind of way. Be very careful you don't cross over into a preachy mode where very theatrically you pour it out and shake it up and try and attract attention. That's not what we're looking for. That will chase people away. But as a part of your routine, wandering around, sitting in a meeting, drinking matcha out of a clear bottle, that's always the key, or before a meal, eating balance, or taking balance so that those at the table are seeing that and asking questions about that. Using the product in public, inviting questions, answering those questions elegantly is a great way to get people to want to try the product and move forward from there. The other way that I try and get the product into people's hands, and that's what we're talking about here, is to have what I call an issues list. Well, what's that? I've gone through, and I invite you to do the same thing, and made a list of issues that Unicity is the solution for. For example, clearly, we're the solution for blood sugar management and cholesterol control and maybe lose a few pounds and manage your fat better. We're also the solution for a whole bunch of other problems like work with people you want to work with and have a good boss and make some extra money, blah, blah, blah. But on this question of products, I've made a list of issues that I know that Balance and Matcha and Cleanse are the solution for. The reason I've made that list is because of human psychology. When I've got that list, my mind is more attuned to those issues. And so when conversations come up that are tangential or even directly related to that, for example, man, I'd love to coach my kids' soccer team, but I am just so beat after work. Or, yeah, my wife, my husband, my friend, whatever, just got put on statin drugs and he's a bit nervous about the side effects. I mean, I'm pointed in on a couple of very direct issues there, but there's many more conversations that go on all the time that are directly related to that or tangential to that. And then I respond then, if it's appropriate, or later, more gracefully with, you know what, when you said ABC, I've been thinking about that. I think I've got a solution for you. That phraseology of, I think I've got a solution for you, is absolutely magic. Because what you're doing there is you're demonstrating, one, you are listening, first of all, and let's be frank, most of us know we're not being listened to. Number two, that you're pondering that comment in behalf of that other person's benefit. I've got a solution for you. That sets up, oh, well, great, what is it? And then I segue into, well, I take my Unicity Matcha or my what I call swamp juice because it gives me that natural energy, and I go into my 10 or 15 second elevator pitch. Without going all over them and giving the whole spiel, I've invited a question, I've answered the question, which invites another question, answer the question, there goes the sample. So those are two ways that I go about it. One is just use it in public. It invites questions if you do it properly without too much theater. And the other is have this in the back of my mind, issues list, and it's amazing that once you have those issues percolating there, you've built that list, how these opportunities just pop up all over the place to answer questions rather gracefully. Now, one other cherry on the top. If you really want to have some fun and you're doing it with someone that you've got some underlying relationship with, I love to use nature's tea. And if there's some conversation about products you're taking, maybe those first two strategies are working for you, then you can always say, well, let me give you another example of the great products we have. Let me give you this tea. Here's what you do. You take it tonight, steep it for a couple of minutes, drink it, just sip it before you go to bed, and then tomorrow morning I'll give you a call and ask you how it's going. Here's what happens. They call you, and they say, Aaron, what on earth did you give me? And my answer always is, well, it's working, right? The great thing with nature's tea is there's zero ambiguity that thing works. Now, you can't do it to a complete stranger. They will sue you. I don't know what they'll do, but they won't like you. Someone with an underlying relationship, and you want to prove that these products work and do what they say they're going to do, nature's tea is a great example for that because the results are absolutely unambiguous and, more importantly, they're instantaneous. So balance and matcha, number one, use them in the marketplace, use them in your daily life, non-theatrically, answer the questions that flow as a consequence. Number two, have an issues list which will prime your mind to be more receptive to the issues or the ones directly or tangentially that we have the solution for. You then provide the solution of, I have a solution for you. That language is wonderfully graceful. And then if you really want to stick it to someone, or you really want to impress them, or you really want to convince them that this product does what we say it will do, nature's tea is an absolute great one to do that with. Hello, Unicity Cleanse. In some markets called Unicity Clear Start, but for this reference point we'll say Cleanse. Think of it as an oil change or a spring clean for your body. We all have a car or a vehicle. We maintain it. We do the oil changes, mostly because the little sticker on the windshield says we should, but we do it also because we want to maintain the asset, preserve its ability to perform, have it performing at peak performance, not void the warranty, whatever other rationale we use, we do those preventative maintenance things. Likewise, we get these Saturday morning urges to go clean out the garage, and our 3-car garage only stores 1 car because of all the junk that's in there, etc., etc. That's what cleanse is for your body. You know, when was the last time you gave yourself or your body an oil change or a spring clean? My guess is for most, never, or certainly rarely. Now, we don't have a sticker on our windshields to say, hey, take cleanse, detoxify, remove stuff that shouldn't be there. So what I do, optimally we say once a quarter, but for me, every time I run around the house to change the clocks for daylight saving, that's my reminder of I need to do an internal spring cleaning. Because although I like the junk in my garage, although I love my vehicle, and I look after them, my body is more important than that and frankly is a primary asset. So I should be just as concerned about preserving that and maintaining its integrity and doing the things to have it operating at full operating capacity. So what is Cleanse? Well, Cleanse is a collection of 3 different products. One is Life Fiber, and you'll see that referenced a lot of times in other videos as an ongoing usage product. It, simply put, is a whole bunch of insoluble fiber. We're supposed to take 24 grams of fiber a day. We usually average about 8 to 10. So we're deficient there. We need more fiber. Think of that, and a great experiment to do, by the way, with Life Fiber is mix it with the water as per the instructions and let it sit in a dish. And it'll go to like a Play-Doh consistency with little fibrous things sticking out of it. Think of that as a bottle brush, malleable enough, moving its way through your intestines. Think of it scouring out all the stuff that's in there. Well, what stuff is in there? Well, 10, 20, 30 years of just residual stuff. Without being too gross, if you have 2 or 3 meals a day, wouldn't it stand to reason that you should have 2 or 3 removals of the excess stuff? If you don't, then you've got food or components sitting in a warm, moist place for longer than you want to have be there. Gross, I know, and I apologize, but that's what Life Fiber does. It bottle brushes those tubes, those intestines, and gets all that stuff that's been building up over the years in there. Then there's Nature's Tea. Nature's Tea is designed to get your bowel moving and acting and contracting as it should. Many of our bowels, many of our digestive systems become a little bit lazy over the years, and so Nature's Tea gives that a little bit of energy to get it going. And then there's Paraway Plus, which is a series of capsules that you take. Now, they're designed more, as para indicates, about parasites. And it's another gross subject, but we all have them from time to time. If you've got pets, if you eat sushi, if you work in the garden, if you generally just go about life, you will engage or ingest some degree of parasite. So you want to get rid of them, right? Yeah. Well, Paraway doesn't kill them. What it does, it makes the environment toxic or unpleasant for them so that they disengage, because they are engaged in your intestinal wall. They disengage. Then along comes Life Fiber, and this Play-Doh consistency captures them. Nature's Tea helps your bowel move it all along, and what do you know? Out it all comes. Spring clean, done. Cleanse is a month-long program which, not ironically and not coincidentally, exceeds the usual lifespan of an adult parasite. So you capture the adults and the next generation that comes through. Again, I apologize for the grossness. But if you begin to think of your body as a system, as an asset that's worth protecting and maintaining and optimally performing, then all of a sudden using Cleanse on a regular basis becomes obvious. And we invite you to do so. The great thing with Cleanse is twofold. Number one is if you take it tonight, tomorrow morning you know it's working. Be mindful of that. Number two, because of the way it works, because it spring cleans your digestive system, it will make everything else that you ingest, your diet, good or bad, the supplements, hopefully good, makes them more bioavailable, makes them more absorbable, so that you can get the value from them that you're intending to get as you ingest them. So it makes other products work better, and that's another great advantage. Plus, you get that stuff out. The stuff that shouldn't be there is no longer there. In fact, in many cases, it's quite horrifying when you see what comes out, and we're happy for you. We're happy to take your word we're happy to take your word for it that what came out was horrifying. Unicity Cleanse just simply works and makes a whole bunch of other great Unicity products work better as well. Unicity Balance, in some markets called Bio's Life, but we'll call it Balance here. Think of the world's largest and, I would add, fastest growing health problems. The largest, and I define a health problem as a cause of premature death or as a significant medical episode. The largest singular health problem on the planet is cardiovascular disease. The fastest growing health problem on the planet is diabetes or balancing blood sugar. Interestingly enough, the most obvious health problem on the planet, which corresponds to the previous two, is carrying some degree of excess upholstery or being overweight. Now, those three things are interrelated, and there is a solution that can remedy all three of those. It is Unicity Balance. Unicity Balance will balance your blood sugar. Bring those spikes and valleys in your blood sugar moderated by your insulin. Balance assists your body in that process. So you don't have these big spikes of blood sugar post-meal and big crashes of blood sugar 2 or 3 hours later. Balance does, as the name implies, balances that out. Likewise, cholesterol. There's good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. Most people in the marketplace understand you want to get cholesterol down. What that means is get your bad cholesterol down. And that's what most of the medications will do. Problem is, none of them, note the language, none of them will have a corresponding increase in your good cholesterol. Think back to your elementary school fractions. If you lower the bad number, it's simultaneous to increasing the good number, you get a much more rapid, much more impressive result. Unicity Balance will do both. It will lower your bad cholesterol and will increase your good cholesterol at the same time. Also, it helps you in the loss of weight. More correctly, the loss and management, use of your fat. A little point of difference here. All too often, we and people in the marketplace talk about losing weight. Well, really what we're talking about is losing fat. We don't look at someone and say, oh, they look like 200 pounds or whatever. We look and say, well, they look fat. Now, hopefully we don't say that because we're a little bit more polite, but our reference is numbers of weight, but we're really seeing as shape because of the fat. So what Bio's Life and Balance do is they help you moderate and use more effectively and your body function more effectively in the storage and release of fat. So it's a fat management tool. Now, I'll be frank. Most people take Balance because they want to lose a few pounds or change their shape just a tad. Great. We're happy about that. What they forget about is the wonderful effects that come from balancing your blood sugar, the energy that flows from that, the increased regularity that comes from the contents in it, as well as the ability to decrease good cholesterol while simultaneously increasing good cholesterol. Cool thing is, once I've achieved my desired weight or shape, then I stay on Balance because I don't want to give up those lipid panel effects of cholesterol and blood sugar, etc., etc. Balance just plain works. More importantly, it can be proven to work. And not, with all due respect, in some nonsense test that we provide, but rather in a test that is widely available, commonly understood, data-based, that all of the medical professionals are trained on and familiar with. In fact, it's the standard of care. Go to any medical professional and say, I want a cholesterol test. Go to any pharmacy and say, I need some way to measure my blood sugar. Understand what that means. We invite you to do the exact same thing. Let those people, let those tests, most importantly, let that data show you that this product is doing what we say it will do. And it will. So you want to balance your blood sugar? You want to balance your cholesterol? You want to balance your weight and your fat storage and release? Then use Balance. It just plain works and can be proven to do so with a third-party, widely available, commonly understood diagnostic test. Unicity Matcha. Quite simply, just a rock star of a product. There is a whole plethora of energy drinks out there, all of which are universally bad for you. But yet, we, particularly the younger generation, are addicted to them. We can't get up and going in the morning without them. We can't get up and going in the early afternoon after that post-lunch crash without another one. We can't go out at night after a long day at work without yet another one. Well, great. I'm glad you get the positive effect, the spike, the jacking up of the energy. I'm happy for you. Problem is that comes with a price, the inevitable crash thereafter. You know, some of them only last 5 hours. Well, what happens after 5 hours then? Well, it dissipates and you're left with the residual, I would add, negative effects of it. They just aren't good for you. And those that take them know that, but they can't help themselves. They need the positive effect. They're addicted to the positive effect, and they're happy to pay the price of the negative effect or the downside. Introducing Unicity Matcha. It has all of the upside with the addition of a degree of mental clarity that comes, which those other ones do not have. In fact, they give you sort of more the jitters, without the downside crash thereafter. So it's a fueling and a feeding of your body, so your body naturally increases its energy and its mental process, as opposed to is stimulated or jacked up to do so. Jacking something up means that sometimes it's going to fall back down. Fueling and feeding means we're using the systems of the body to do what they were designed to do and providing the fuel to them to do so. So Unicity Matcha for me is a great cut and paste. I go to the folks that use those products that are, let's be frank, addicted to those products, and I say, here is a product that gives you the same upside plus more, the mental clarity as well as the physical energy, without the negative downside, and the cost is the same if not less. Would you like to try some? It's easy and it works. You want to get things done, you want to think more clearly, you want to have more energy, you want to, when you get home from work, want to actually play with the children as opposed to sit there like a blob, then Unicity Matcha is the product for you. You want to get going in the morning, you got a meeting, you got an exam, you got something else you need to be on for, Unicity Matcha is the product for you. If you're taking those other substandard products or other means of third-party external stimulation, then Unicity Matcha is the product for you. If life is good and you just want to make it slightly better with a little bit more juice and a pep in your step or juice behind you, then Unicity Matcha is the product for you.